And here's the thing, this is the key for you. This is the answer that you're looking for. You're going to be able to do this easily because you've applied it in so many other areas of your life. We just need to tell you the genesis of manifestations. So there's a vibration, and law of attraction is adding emphasis to it, and the vibrations, whatever it is becoming more, because that's what law of attraction says. You're offering a vibration, and when your vibration and this vibration get in the vicinity of one another, law of attraction puts you together. So as you're deliberately reaching for alignment and reaching for alignment and reaching for alignment, looking for things that feel good, practicing that, you come into the vibrational vicinity of this, and now an idea occurs to you, and you can tell by the emotion that comes with it, the on the pathness or the off the pathness of that idea. So you feel it, you know it, can't explain it to anybody because they weren't there. You really had to be there. They weren't there. Try to explain it to them. That usually just diverts you from it. They weren't there. But you let it germinate. You let it get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And as you do, it brings you more and more pleasure. It was a dream, you said. All those dreams brought you so much pleasure. You allowed the dreams to bring you pleasure. You didn't demand manifestations of those dreams right then. If you had, you'd have gotten off your path a long time ago, but you didn't. You allowed those dreams. Those dreams were allowed by you to continue to be what they were, and you continued to find a way to find alignment with them. Now here's the way it works. So there's the vibration. You're in the vibrational vicinity of it because you're in tune with it, in harmony with it. Now a thought occurs to you, and when it does, it explodes in you. You can feel it. You know the perfection of it because you know the pleasure of the idea. The pleasure of the idea. Let's start talking about that. The pleasure of the idea, the satisfaction of the idea. Those are harmonics, you see. So now if you're able to stay in the quietness of your own alignment without bringing other people in who don't know, who weren't there, who weren't part of what built the vortex, who don't know, who lived other experiences, who will just complicate it. If you don't introduce them, then your path continues to get stronger and stronger and more defined by you, and more irrefutable and more certain. And you just have this knowing, you have this clarity and this certainty. You just know. So now manifestation occurs, and let's talk about the manifestation of this wonderful relationship. So this manifestation occurs. Now we want to demonstrate. So you're on your path, you deviate a little over one thing or another, but you come back. You're on your path, you deviate a little over one thing or another, but you come back. You're on your path, you deviate a little over one thing or another, you come back, and then something happens that causes you to do this more. Just the circumstances of what you're doing, circumstances of another person entering up close, really up close into your experience, and you're all hooked in all these other kind of ways. And so you just sort of forget that it's all right for you to be selfish, because you're told constantly it's not all right for you to be selfish. What's the matter with you? Don't you know that there are more of us now that you must consider? And so then you start deviating and deviating and deviating, and it's not because you don't want all of those good things for all of those people. It's not about that. It's that you separated yourself from something fundamental that you cannot separate yourself from, and that is your own clarity and your own alignment. So now follow this out with us. So now you recognize that, and you're feeling the discord of it, not the discord of a hard relationship. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the discord of splitting yourself up. We're talking about the discord of your own split energy. You can use any excuse you want, but it's the discord of your own split energy that'll keep you from being creative. That'll keep you from moving and dance. That'll keep you from everything you want, and it'll keep you from satisfaction and contentment in this moment, won't it? But it's happened. It's no big deal. It's happened. So now you get clear. You start focusing on what you can do something about. You come back into alignment. Not about that. That's too hard right now. Come into alignment about dance. You come into alignment about this. You come into alignment about that. Not about that. That's too hard right now. You come into alignment. You come into alignment. You come into alignment. You accomplish alignment. Never mind that, because that's too hard. You come into alignment. You come into alignment. You stop beating up on yourself about that, because every time you beat up on yourself about that, you come out of alignment. Every time you try to do what somebody else wants you to do, you come out of alignment. You just come into alignment, come into alignment, come into alignment. Come into alignment, come into alignment, come into alignment, and then law of attraction helps you dovetail again, and you realize you were never very far off your path. It wasn't about needing to do something different. It wasn't about needing to omit somebody from your experience. It was about discovering your ability to stay in your own truth, in your own alignment, even with up close and personal pressure to drag you away from it. And we're not just talking about a person, we're talking about the world at large, who when they see a powerful person is sought after for the power that you've garnered. And don't you dare be so selfish as to keep your power for your dreams. You better spread it out among everybody. But in doing so, you insult them. You insult them because you say to them, I do this for you because I see you cannot do it for yourself. And you split your energy and you feel real bad.
Thank you. May I?
Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
That was really good.
I know that to be 100% true.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when I allowed myself to be pulled towards the intention, the dreams that I had, I just enjoyed the dreams of it. I just enjoyed it. And it happened, it manifested.
Yeah. And it's supposed to feel good all along the way, not only after it manifests. And that's what the piece unconditional is about. Because if the vibration is evolving and you are allowing yourself to resonate with it, then you're finding satisfaction long before the contracts and long before the money and long before the satisfaction is there. You're in alignment. That's unconditional. Finding the satisfaction without needing the condition to punctuate or to prove it. But then the condition always does punctuate it and prove it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Second part of the situation, I've always been the responsible person in my family, taking care of my entire family, my extended family. My mother has been a person who always looked for excuses, and then the excuses turned against her. So early on, I started to take care of my mom.
Yeah.
And I've been doing so for over 18 years.
Yeah.
Pay her rents and just everything. And when I allowed myself to be pulled towards the other direction with my family and the circumstances, I darn near lost everything. Given what I had done in the past, it spoke for me. The financial aspect of what I built for other people, myself, literally almost lost it all. And that doesn't bother me because I know it's rebuilding as I'm speaking. Literally, that doesn't bother me. The connection with my mom and feeling responsible for her,
we want to give you something here. So it isn't the action, it isn't that behavior, wasn't what you did that caused you to lose it all. It was the split energy that happened with you about it. At first, feels like the path of least resistance to help somebody do something. But after a while, they get entitled and demanding, and there gets to be more of them. And so when you are able to stay in alignment no matter what, you are refueled and resourced, and there will never be an ending to what flows through you. But in the moment that you get crossways of that so that the replenishment stops, then it's all falling away. Then there's more going out than's coming in. So we're not having this conversation about the rightness or the wrongness of helping anyone out, because there's plenty of helping out that we think is a lovely thing to do. It brings you a lot of satisfaction in so many ways. It's the replenishing of the supply that is mandatory, that is critical, that matters. And so it's not about what you should do that's different. It's that you've got to find a way to feel about it. Whatever you're doing, you got to find a way to line up with it. The worst thing in the world that you can do is to continue to do something that doesn't feel good. So the subject isn't, is the action right or wrong? The subject is, how do I feel about it? And sometimes you have to take some actions in order to figure out what the path of least resistance is. For example, let's say that you're with us on this. You're sort of getting the sense that maybe you should just cut them all off. Too many people demanding too much from you, so just cut them all off. And so now the rent isn't paid. Is that the path of least resistance? We don't think so. We don't think somebody not being able to pay the rent is what you were looking for. If you care about how you feel and you're just saying, from where I stand, which is the only place that you can be, from where I stand, what is the path of least resistance? And eventually you'll get all the way, but at first it's pay the rent or don't pay the rent. Well, you're going to pay the rent. You're going to pay the rent. Meet this demand or don't meet this demand. Well, maybe the demand not so much. In other words, you just get so you sort it out, but eventually you'll find yourself in alignment with what you're doing, because you got to be. What you want to say to everyone is, I love you so much, but I will not give up my alignment for you. And they'll say, well, we're not asking you to give up your alignment. Just do what we need you to do and stay in alignment. And what you're really saying to them is, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to work this out so that I can be true to who I am. And being true to who you are is uplifting others. It's empowering them. And so sometimes you can go along for a while before you realize you've crossed the line. You're no longer empowering them. You've developed dependencies. You are depriving them. You are insulting them of their own resources. All you ever intended to be was an example of someone who could line up, not somebody who lined up and provided for everybody else. You see. And sometimes it's gone so far that you're not going to teach them and you don't want them to starve, and you're going to keep doing what you're doing because that's the path of least resistance. But it's your path of least resistance. It's something that you've decided, not something that's being demanded of you. And can you feel the difference?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you can.
Oh yeah.
So now we interrupted you.
I really am full. I really being here, which I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And I knew that I would be.
Yeah.
And it happened, and I'm thankful
Yeah.
to Abraham. I'm thankful for Esther being the vehicle. I really am thankful.
Yeah. Be easy about it and be more incrementally selfish. And here's the piece that we really want you to hear. You're looking for the satisfaction in the thought, the satisfaction in the thought. And so just like your dreams were satisfying, if this thought about something that somebody wants you to do isn't satisfying, find a way to make it satisfying, or don't do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really good.